everyone, I am Aarushi. I am a growth and product marketing manager. I hope you guys are having a great time at the product experimentation event. And I am super excited to be here talking about 5 ways that onboarding can drive user retention. So we'll start off by talking about what is onboarding and why is it important. We'll then dive into how can we use onboarding to drive user retention. First being pre-sign-up questionnaire to understand customer intent, frustrations, and motivations that can really help us inform a personalized and contextual new user onboarding, leveraging gamification and progress bar elements to further engage and motivate users to becoming advocates for our product or service, and how in-app resource center can really help bridge the gap for after-hour support, as well as build that trust and credibility when it comes to understanding how to best self-serve many of the concerns that users might come towards. So what is new user onboarding? New user onboarding is essentially a series of tasks to help users find value of product or service upon sign up. It can be a combination of email, in-app, push notification journeys to really help develop that cohesiveness and seamless experience to guide users step by step on how to go about understanding feature usage, some support guides as well. It is not just how to use, but it is also how to use successfully to meet the desired goals of customers. It is not a one-size-fits-all strategy. It is meant to be contextual and personalized based on the unique pain points and motivations of users. It is important for it to be simple, straightforward, engaging, and informative that really focuses on building that firsthand experience where users are actively using the product to understand its product value. Omni-channel, so understanding where a user's high touch points are, whether that be email, in-app, social media, and building a cohesive, thoughtful journey across these multiple channels and touch points. It is also very important to continue to engage users to be iterative based on customer engagement and feedback as well. So making sure that there's a strong customer feedback loop that is a part of new user onboarding, as well as the idea of self-serving many other questions, concerns, etc., through self-serve resources. So this can be in the form of product tours, webinars, in-app guidance, customer success, contact us, FAQ pages. As you can see over here, a quick example would be as soon as a customer logs in, they get a welcome message, they have a quick checklist or a start guide based on what milestones they need to achieve to become well-versed with the product or service that then translates into a cohesive experience in-app as well. When we look at the product-led growth flywheel framework, we can really use it to understand the benefits of new user onboarding. So it can be to persuade and convince on-the-fence evaluators to transition into beginners on how to use that product or service. So these evaluators could be considering based on their existing solution, how is a new product or service better among the competition as well. And based on the guidance that they get through this onboarding experience, the idea is to speed up their time to value so they can engage and continue to become regulars as well. So the idea of encouraging a habit loop, identifying what those milestones are, those key steps, as they develop that credibility, the trust in the product to then become champions and then become advocates as a result as well. So there are these people that will look to get new customers based on their positive experience. So KPIs, looking at product adoption rates, journey completion rates, engagement rates, stickiness of customers. So looking at daily average, daily active user base divided by monthly active user base, understanding what exactly is the sentiment of customers that are engaging with these onboarding journeys through Net Promoter Score surveys. And of course, looking at retention rates because that's the end goal that we want to work towards.
Hi. This is Romo Santiago from Experiment Nation. If you'd like to connect with hundreds of experimenters from around the world, consider joining our Slack channel. You can find the link in the description. Now back to the episode.
Why is it important? So new user onboarding has historically proven to increase user retention by 50%. Many businesses have seen that a 15% increase in week one retention rates for those that have been a part of onboarding journeys translates into a 40% increase in revenue. And also an interesting insight is that 21% of users abandon an app after using it only once, which further strengthens the case for onboarding that can consistently educate, guide, and motivate users to take relevant actions to build towards retention. It does foster positive customer relationships as well. So in turn, this helps reduce customer support costs, working towards operational excellence. It also is meant to help users identify their aha moment. An aha moment is essentially how soon can a user understand and what is their time to value. This is the moment when a user realizes full app potential and how it solves their problems. For example, for Netflix, it's finding something to watch within 30 to 90 seconds. For Airbnb, it's making a booking for the first time. Until then, a user is still evaluating on the potential versus staying in a typical hotel. So a quick visual over here is as a user engages with a product for the first time, we really want to reduce their time to value by helping them discover their aha moment sooner and in an easier way as well, which in turn will help reduce customer churn, improve user satisfaction, and increase the likelihood of users to become long-term loyal customers and advocates of the product or service in return. So what are some of the ways that we can really drive user retention with onboarding? The first one is pre-sign-up questionnaire. So the idea over here is to understand a customer's purchase intent, product usage, product fit to segment and personalize onboarding experience. Some of the questions that we really want to understand to personalize and contextualize onboarding as a follow-up is, what is the planned use of platform for these users? What are some of the challenges that are to be solved? What is their role given the company? So we can really start to build user personas and introduce very targeted messaging accordingly. What are some of the existing tools that they use to focus on these challenges? What is their expert level in that as well? So we can really tailor our content and messaging to deliver a improvised USP to drive that competitive advantage. What is the expected usage frequency? The tip here is to be contextual, short and simple, avoid bias and leading questions, and really introduce and include brand personality throughout the onboarding experience. So some examples that highlight this is Headspace. So as soon as you create your Headspace account, or even in the process, it'll ask you, what is your goal? Is it sleeping better? Is it being more focused, being less stressed? As you create your Twitter or X account, it also asks you, what are your relevant interest areas? So it can use its algorithms to curate specific content that is individual and more relevant to you. How are you planning to use Loom as well? So is it for work? Is it for education, personal projects? And it'll streamline different workflows accordingly. You want this to be customizable and customer-centric as you surface unique understandings of your customer as well. Some of the KPIs that we can look to measure the success of this is engagement metrics, so your CTR, COR, NPS to understand the engagement, the sentiment behind the engagement, adoption rates, as well as retention rates. Second one is, how can we use the insights gained from the questionnaire to develop a personalized contextual onboarding experience? Now, the idea of personalization and contextual messaging is that it needs to be unique to user preferences, goals, and needs. It can be as small as personalizing the name. As soon as a customer logs into their app or account, they can see their name being there. Also identifying what are the key events that a customer takes that really fosters that understanding of a product and its value. So trigger-based onboarding email sequences can cater to this, as well as based on the questionnaire insights, how can we look to segment by behavior and use case to only surface relevant features or content. It is about being iterative and adapting flow based on users' prior experience and knowledge as well, through identifying pain points and confusion, introducing more surveys as needed to continue to engage customers in a meaningful way. The idea here is to be quick, discoverable, also add the element of skippable tours. That way customers do have the flexibility. If they already are well versed with certain features, they can skip over it and then go to the next relevant step. Tooltips, knowledge hub, webinars, all of these components really enhance overall user experience. It creates a stronger connection between user and product. It shortens time to value for users. It increases product adoption and improve retention as well. An example of a success story is Dropbox. So Dropbox recently increased its activation rates by 25% and observed a 5% increase in returning users in week 2. So based on customer insights, they identified that decision fatigue was very high with users. They were taking a lot of screenshots to understand specific features, the benefits, how to use when. So they revamped their onboarding strategy to introduce a checklist to guide users through the app, emphasizing the discovery of key features to drive such results. Now that we have a personalized element, gamification can be a really effective tool to help with the motivation and develop that sense of competition to drive higher engagement with the product. So we've seen that gamification boosts user engagement by 48% and increases and has an impact on CLTV by increasing it between 15 to 40%. It fosters the idea of how challenges, rewards, completing tasks, and earning points drive that sense of accomplishment. It drives that positive emotional connection. Also, the idea of fear of losing accomplishments. It really helps you to develop strong habits, enabling user engagement and retention. Some of the different types here are point systems. So that really pushes frequent short-term purchases. So if there's points associated with the purchase of a specific feature within the product, achievement system, so rewards for milestones. So every X steps that you take in your Fitbit, you'll earn a badge accordingly. Competition systems, the concept of leaderboards that really help develop that sense of competition to kind of help your work your way up. Positive emotional connection, we already spoke about this. So what is a really good example is Duolingo, as you can see over here, celebrating 5 milestones in a row, the completion aspect as well, the bonus elements associated with it, leaderboards, positive reinforcement over here, the idea of how you're progressing towards your daily goal, and introducing incentives within the progress bar to really help motivate you as well. And that's how Duolingo has successfully increased its revenue from 13 to 161 million between 2017 and 2020. Now they're at a user base of 300 million. Now that we know gamification, it's really important to highlight progress bar and how that also motivates customers to be more engaged with the product as well. The idea here is goal visualization. So breaking down steps into tangible tasks. These steps are jobs to be done. And this sense of direction, transparency, perceived control really gives users a greater sense of accomplishment and also builds that trust within a business of clear communication, transparent communication. Some of the psychological elements behind this is the Zeigarnik effect, which is the concept of your brain really seeks curiosity to complete certain achievements and unfinished tasks. So if you see a list of unfinished tasks, your brain naturally is curious to understand what's next. Endowed progress effect. Now, this really is the concept of enhancing motivation through a sense of progress, even when you start that off with an artificial advancement. So as soon as you log into your user pilot account, you naturally would have created your account. So the idea of the first item being checked off your list, it is a really good perception of a head start. So you're motivated to continue and complete subsequent steps as well. The third one being goal gradient effect. So as users are nearing a goal, they tend to accelerate their behavior, which encourages increased engagement as well. So as you can see, the 3 items from this quick start guide is being checked off. And seeing that only 1 step is left, it really intensifies users' motivation to finish quickly. Last but not least, in-app resource center. So we know that around 81% of users try to solve their software issues before seeking help. So they want to do it themselves. And 45% of companies with self-service customer support reported a decrease in phone calls and an increase in site traffic as well. What really drives the success, though, is timely contextual self-service support. Now, this can be in the format of a chatbot, an automated chatbot. It can be in the format of a resource center that does highlight get help resources. So it could be a knowledge base, videos, FAQ pages, community engagement portal links that foster the sense of community for users that have questions, concerns, or basically can also advocate for the product within this community setting. Also, the idea of mixing human interactions. There are likely going to be complex issues that arise that do require human intervention, but this can be a really good, it can help bridge the gap for after-hour support. The goal here is to answer simple questions during high volume periods and can be through in-app guides based on user journey stage as well. What kind of motivates and kind of informs this is around 30% of customers, they believe in having the knowledge and resourcefulness that's easier to access. They also value timely resolution. So the concept of self-service when customer service is inaccessible really is a good initiative. In conclusion, onboarding boosts user retention by speeding time to value as we defined the aha moment. Pre-set up questionnaires and constant customer feedback loops inform iterations to personalize and contextualize onboarding to drive relevance. Gamification and progress tracking features really foster user motivation where users are more likely to develop habits to improve engagement and retention. Self-serve resource center mixed with human interactions can really help build customer confidence and also reduce operative costs. Some tips, so navigating on cohesiveness as well. It's very important to introduce the idea of A/B testing, whether that be across segments, content, copy, to really look to validate hypotheses and speed learnings along the way as well. Cross-channel orchestration for this cohesive, seamless user onboarding experience, working very closely based on the business model with sales and onboarding teams for human connectedness and building that strong customer feedback loop. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I have attached my LinkedIn here and hope everybody has a great rest of the event. Enjoy. Take care. Bye.
Hi, this is Romo Santiago from Experiment Nation. If you'd like to connect with hundreds of experimenters from around the world, consider joining our Slack channel. You can find the link in the description.